everyone. It's Nancy, the nurse practitioner, and we're here today for another video. As you know, on my YouTube channel, I have a caregiver success page where I've been working with caregivers for many years and so many concerns and problems we all deal with as caregivers. And I'm a nurse practitioner. I am a caregiver in all sorts of ways, and I want to introduce to you Loren Gelberg-Goff, who's a social worker, has many other titles, licensed social worker and counselor for the caregiver, and has a beautiful blog, has written a wonderful book called Take Back Your Life, A Caregiver's Guide to Finding Freedom in the Midst of Overwhelm. Very, very wonderful book, slow read with a marker, which I mark up this book regularly like a workbook, and have been using it with my own clients. Wonderful book for you guys to consider getting, and Loren will tell you more about that. But I also wanted to tell you that she started audiobooks, and this is why we got together, because that is the name of the game. Podcasting, audiobooks, people driving in their cars to work and can listen to all the things that are bothering them as being a caregiver, caring for somebody in their life. So I just want to say, hey, Loren, thank you for doing this video with me again.
I'm so excited to do it again. And this time, where we were able to meet in person last time, it's great that technology allows us to do this remotely and still make connections, not only for ourselves, but for everybody out there. And I think that's one of the big things that's come out of these last few years, is how much more comfortable people have gotten with technology, audio, podcasts. And it's what inspired me to get my book on audio, because I know when you're super busy, whether you're taking care of a child, a baby, an aging parent, a spouse, or you're just running between work and home, not everybody has time to sit in a comfortable corner and read, or you're too exhausted at the end of the night, at the end of the day, to sit and read. But I've gotten, quote, addicted to audiobooks because I walk the dogs multiple times a day. I'm running, I'm busy. When you're folding laundry, doing dishes, whatever those mundane activities are, you can listen.
Yeah.
And we need,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
We need ways to get self-care for us in whatever way we can. And
even if it's on the move. And some people do better by writing or reading. Like I like to read and underline words and go back and take that marker and say, read that page again. But some people do really well with audible, auditory reading. Listening, and then they can hit the button and rewind and say, oh, that's such a good point. Got to remember that one while they're even driving, So that's a great thing. I know that we were going to talk today about caring for the caregiver, asking for and receiving help. And that tends to be, some people really have trouble with that, don't they, Loren?
Oh my God, yes. Don't we? And women who are doing everything, for centuries, women have been doing everything, and it's become almost ingrained within our psyches that we're just supposed to do everything. But what if we're not? We can do a lot, but we have to work through the angst that comes up when we feel like we need to ask for help. We take it as a sign of failure or weakness, or our loved ones say, I don't want anybody but you to do this, to take care of this. And so it becomes this major conundrum. And this goes to setting a boundary, doing what we need to do out of love, not only for our loved one, but for ourselves.
So what do you do if you have a strained family relationship? Like, because, this is where you separate the men from the boys. I hate to say it like that, but, you can have 7 brothers and sisters and say, oh boy, I've got all this army of help. And then one by one, they just drop off, and there's only a couple that will step forward. What do you do with that situation?
Well, we go back to what is my favorite question that has to be asked and answered all the time, and that's, what's my desired outcome?
Mhm.
And a desired outcome has to be, number one, what you want, not what you don't want. And number two, it has to be something over which you yourself have control. So we cannot control
Mhm.
what other family members will do, how they will respond, but we do have control over what we ask for. And so
Mhm.
we look to everyone's strengths. What are they capable of doing? Maybe some of them are only capable of contributing somewhat financially. They're not going to give you their time or their energy or give you that gift of pitching in.
Hmm.
Oh, but will they contribute financially if you need to hire extra help? What will they do? So we don't ask them, why can't you do this? And why aren't you doing that? What are you willing to do?
It's interesting you say that because it doesn't have to just be with an older parent. I sort of have this situation in my own family with my children and
Okay.
my second marriage. My first marriage, gives them money and gives them things. And I told my children, I won't do that. I will give you my time, which is
Mhm.
hence the sewing and the singing on the phone and the storybooks. That's me. I feel that, they could use the money and that's what he can give. And in the beginning, I was not happy with that because I'm like, oh, they're going to love, that new money towards a car and stuff. And I'm not giving them that. But for me, I'm giving them me, and that's what I
Someone,
can do, you
and
know.
I will tell you, someone said to me, she has a son with a lifetime of challenges in terms of independent living and
Mhm.
manages. And she sends him money, she sends him clothing and gifts. And
Mhm.
he actually said to her, yes, you give me everything but you. So,
So interesting. What did you do with that response?
well, she had to work through her guilt that she couldn't give him
Mm.
herself. There
Mm.
were emotional challenges that she couldn't provide for him.
Mm.
But again, it's about setting a boundary. And if we know I'm not capable mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, whatever it might be, that
Right.
I'm not going to be there for you. This is what I can give. And then it's up to you, to the recipient, to accept it or not.
Mhm.
So that goes to the boundaries that we have and expectations. And we all know the saying, pride goeth before the fall, right? Do I
Mhm.
have to stand on ceremony and say, well, that's not good enough? Can I accept you for who you are?
And
And
the other, go ahead. I finished that thought. No, go ahead.
I
Sorry.
may not like that this is all you do. I may have other expectations, but I
Mhm.
have no control over making you be someone you're not.
And that could take years to like do this, like let go. There's something my older sister always said too. Another thing was every day when after another altercation with another family member, start your day with a cup of love. It's like
Okay.
every day, just take out your hand and say, here's my cup. It's full again. And it's full of love. We're going to start right where we are, new day. And I've used that a lot because you can simmer on last night's text at 10:30, or
Yep.
you can say, I'm going to sleep and we're going to do this over. But again, it's also giving my family members that give money this cup of love. Like if that makes them feel important and they're helping them, that's cool. I'm finally come to grips with that. Thanks for the therapy session.
Well, it is, we hold these judgments
Yeah,
from history.
yeah.
It might
Oh, for
even be
years.
generational beliefs
Hmm.
of what we're
Yeah.
supposed to do.
And what you had done to you, what happened to you? And, that didn't happen in my family because we didn't have a lot of money, but that's what happened in that family. And that was the love part too. Also, caregiving, I just want to say one more thing about this caregiving part is that, even, and I know we're talking about caregiving for older people, but as a nana, my daughter never had a nana. She never, her grandmother, my mother died before she was born. And so she never met her. And my ex-husband's mom she said to me, I'll never babysit your children, so don't even ask me. That was when they were born. But she made them beautiful sweaters and clothes and Halloween costumes. And that was her love for them.
Okay.
So I just watched this baby for a whole week, and her husband was like upset, like worried about it. And I said, you guys both don't know what it is to have a nana.
Right.
I'm a caregiver, but and I know we're taking a twist on this, but this is all the roles we carry. I have lots of roles now. And for this one, after a week of being on the floor, playing with Skylar and doing all these fun things, a little swimming pool in the backyard and teaching her to walk, this was my personal time of memory with the Skylar that she'll remember from a nana. And hopefully she'll make cookies with me, and hopefully I'll teach her to sew and things they never had. So I had to tell him, you never had a nana. Let me be a nana.
Right.
It was really hard for them.
And there aren't all caregivers who identify themselves as caregivers. And I can remember when my husband first became disabled, that it took me years to recognize my caregiving role, because I did things automatically that you just manage your home, your children, your practice, my work, that it was maintaining life as normal as possible. So whether it's an aging parent, whether it's a spouse, whether it's children who are boomeranging home, because that's happening more and more, or becoming a grandparent. If you don't identify yourself as a caregiver, but you recognize your behaviors as providing for everyone, you're the go-to person for whatever your friend or family needs. Stop for a minute, take a breath, and just ask yourself, what do I need? Is anybody paying attention to what I need? Am I paying attention to what I need?
So self-care is major. Every day.
It's imperative.
Yeah.
And there are people in my Facebook group, for overwhelmed caregivers, who talk about not even being able to get a few hours off. And well, can you get 20 minutes? Can you linger over a cup of coffee in the morning?
Right.
Or take an extra 5 minutes in your shower? What are the ways we can start small to take care? And if a family member or a hired aide isn't available for whatever reason, is there a friend, a neighbor, a community service, a senior organization who needs somebody? Maybe somebody just needs company for a couple of hours while you go out, whether it's running errands. And I will tell you, one of the biggest things that came out of the last couple of years is how easy it is to get everything delivered.
And it's so true. Everything. I just bought this little snap device to make my bibs, on Amazon for $18. I would never be able to find this doodad anywhere. So,
and you would have spent hours running through stores.
Oh my gosh, you got that right. Even groceries and everything.
Absolutely.
Everything.
So, and again, I've heard people tell me, no, I don't want to get my food delivered. I need to make sure it's good. I said, here's the beauty, certainly of Instacart. If you don't like a product that you got, They will
Yeah.
immediately refund your money. They will send something new. And the shoppers are looking to do a good job. So it's an adjustment.
It's all about time though, too. We all get the same minutes in the day,
Mhm.
and it's what do we do with them? There are ways of, I've seen so many shortcuts that my caregivers had and I put it in my book, like, look at this, look at this. You can't, you improvise for the rest of the world of how to make a caregiver's life easier. Like just taking noodles and cutting them, the noodles you swim with in the water,
Uh-huh.
and putting them on the railings of the hospital beds railing so the mother didn't bonk her head on them all the time. And I was like, what a great idea. She said,
Right.
I don't know, I thought of that. Took a picture, stuck it in the book. I mean, anything to help reduce, medical crisis, improve care. It's actually fun. She changes the colors every now and then. Let's do a purple today, you know,
Right.
with the
Right.
tools. But it is about time. We only have a certain amount, and how are we going to be efficient with our time as well
And
to get the
and
job done?
loving and compassionate that our time matters.
Yeah. Yeah.
And being able to say how when you realize it's hard, it's not a big deal. I don't need somebody to come and do this. I can just do it myself. Sure, you can.
Yeah.
But just because you can doesn't mean you should.
It's interesting. I had a friend who I thought was like this princess. She was always in her jacuzzi in the backyard, and she got her nails done and this and that. And I'm like, oh, that Liz, and I never did all those things. I was running myself ragged as a nurse practitioner. And one day I got this bing, like, she's no idiot. She takes care of her older mother. She's got a husband that wants dinner on the table at such and such a time. She's a teacher during the day, and she made sure that she did things for herself. And it finally made sense to me. It took me a long time to see it that way. And then I realized, wow, she's feeling great. And she has energy for everybody else after doing that. What a deal.
So here's the thing. What many people, and I'm sure a lot of people listening to this at some point, are going to connect to the fact that they feel resentful of how everybody else gets to do whatever they want. And
Yeah.
understand that resentment is that we see somebody doing something and operate on the premise they can, I can't.
Mm,
But if you're triggered by seeing something somebody is doing that you wish you could, it's a way of saying, how can I make that happen for me?
yeah.
Whether
Well,
it's taking a nap in the middle of the day,
mhm.
meeting somebody for a glass of wine, a cup of tea, whatever it might be, a lunch,
Mhm.
and you say, oh yeah, all my friends can, and they've forgotten me because I'm stuck at home.
Yeah.
Do you want to? What's your desired outcome?
Yeah.
And if you have to ask a friend, a neighbor, reach out to a senior center in your community, reach out to
Yeah.
a home care agency and say, once a week for 4 hours, because usually some agencies will have a 2 hour minimum or a 4 hour minimum.
Mhm.
Once a week, twice a week, I am worth spending that $100
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
I can. People have said, yeah, my friend stopped asking me because I was never available. Did you want to be available?
Right.
Well, I'd have to ask for. So we have to learn, it's shifting our mindset.
Yeah.
It's not a sign of weakness to ask for help, to
Right.
ask for what we need. And think about it, before you got exhausted or burnt out from being a caregiver,
Mhm.
did you love being there for your friends and family? Did you feel good, like doing for others? Gave you a little bit of a warm feeling inside?
Yeah.
Why can't we let other people have the same feeling? They're
Yeah.
not burnt out. They're not exhausted. So we're giving them a gift by
Mhm.
letting them be there for us, do for us in ways that might be trivial. Can you fold my laundry? Can you stop and pick up something for me that I ordered that is at the whatever?
Yeah.
Can you
Yeah.
do my
And you
laundry for
anything.
me? Right.
Yeah.
Can you come and sit with my mom, with my husband, with my wife
Mm.
for an hour?
Yeah. Well, also through a church, like I'm a parish nurse, you can reach out to your synagogue or reach out to whatever organization you hang around with, even a Silver Sneakers Senior Center place that you've met a girlfriend who says, hey, I love hanging out with you, but I can't get to that class. You want to come home and we'll do a Silver Sneakers on the video on TV together while mom's in the chair watching. She'll probably be clapping and thinking this is great. I'm
Right.
just saying there's ways to do it even if you can't leave your house. One more thing I wanted to say is, I don't know if you know, but on my channel I've been pedaling my bicycle, or I'm on the boat showing people a sunset, or I'm like saying, did you try to, you can have imagery from where you are. You can be at home and I got 200 views on this one video I did for 30 seconds about taking a picture under a pier at moonlight, and the waves crashing on the pier, and people just wanted to see that. And I didn't have to say where I was, and I wasn't in it. It was just, sometimes I got people just saying, thank you for that today. What a pretty place. Now I'll start my day.
These are,
Lots of
I've
other things.
posted a number of those kinds of, here's your moment of Zen kind of
Yeah.
video. Every little bit helps.
Yes.
We don't create, you don't climb a mountain in a minute.
Right.
It's one step at a time. And if we're not willing to take the small steps, we won't take the big steps. We can't wait for that perfect moment or for the peace and quiet. We have to do it now. This
And
is when it matters.
I guess another thing is, and it's hard for people, is gratefulness, because we don't know anything about the next day, whether
Yeah.
or not mom's in the hospital or her husband's terminally ill, and then all of a sudden you're not a caregiver anymore and you don't know when that is. So you almost have to say, one of the things that I noticed is when my patients would pass away, I wrote a card to the family. It was a handwritten card, and it was like, your mother made me laugh when she did this. She did these because I needed my own closure. I took care of somebody for 7 years and they gave me part of them. So
Yeah.
everybody is involved. We're all emotionally involved in some way with the person we're caring for. We're going to get something out of this. The person receiving it or giving. Would you
Oh, and
agree?
that's absolutely. And so if we think about it, for anybody listening, I want you to put your hands out, palms up, and focus on the right side is the action side. It's considered the masculine side, the yin and the yang kind of thing. And from the right side, we give.
Mm.
And I want you to think about what you give to family, friends, work, community, love, time, energy, money, experience, whatever it might be. Think about what you're giving. Feel it coming out of your right hand. Then put your left hand out and ask yourself, what am I receiving?
Mm.
Is there what's coming into you? The stress, the aggravation, the struggle, the exhaustion.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think about what's going in. Because we're not alchemists. We're not Rumpelstiltskin. We're not spinning straw into gold. We can't, what do you want to fill yourself up with? So even if what you want to take in, binge watch the show for a couple of hours. Okay, I relaxed. I took my 15-minute nap this afternoon. What are you doing? I called and spoke with a friend who gave me love and support. I want you to start thinking about what you're taking in, because we may need to become conscious of what we're taking in to acknowledge there is love and support in my life. I can ask my best friend for a hug, virtual or real, depending on how close you live. Ask for what you want, so you're filling yourself up, so you have what to give.
Yes. So can you stop for a second, put on pause? Can you pause it? My battery is running off the computer. I have to plug us in.
So let's talk about what we receive. A dozen years ago, I started a support group on the phone for caregivers, because I knew caregivers aren't going to make the time to leave. Someone had told me she had a support group for caregivers. She said, I have 72 members. I said, really? She said, maybe one or two show up.
Yeah. Yeah.
But on the phone, or now I'm doing it on Zoom, you don't have to leave your house.
Right.
If you don't need a companion, you don't need a sitter. And the calls are all recorded. So I started this a dozen years ago for caregivers. There are people in the group today who have been in the group for almost the entire time, and they're not caregivers anymore, because the issues that we discuss are universal to us as humans, and loving, giving, compassionate people, mostly women. Over the years, there have been a few men who have participated, but it is mostly women, because we talk about setting boundaries. We talk about dealing with the guilt of not doing everything. We talk about beliefs that we hold that can impact new decisions and new possibilities. So the issues that, as I say all the time, situations may be individual, issues are universal.
Right.
And we deal with them in the group. And we're starting a whole new season on September 12th.
So isn't she great, everyone? Listen how well Loren tells us what we should be doing. And I also do really want to not forget about this book, because it could be like a base, like I'm saying, well, some people learn by reading, some people learn by listening. Tell us how we can get involved with your support group, first of all.
So you can go to the Facebook group on for overwhelmed caregivers. And there are going to be links there for the upcoming group. I'm doing a workshop next Thursday night to really launch the group. You can email me at
What's your email?
Loren@lorengelberggoff.com. We can spell it out for everybody if we need to. It'll be in a link.
Okay. I'll put it also in my information when you send me the video, so everyone will get it. Okay.
Perfect, because you can email me directly. I will respond, let you know how to access the workshop next week, and to set up a 20-minute phone call with me to talk about what your needs are and how the group might benefit you. I keep the group super affordable, because I know everybody's got their own struggles and issues with finances, but understand self-care matters. And if we're not taking care of ourselves, we're not going to be any good to anybody else. Your sister's message of, okay, I'm going to start the day with a full cup. Okay, what do I need to do to replenish that cup?
Yeah.
Every day.
Yeah.
How do I connect to coming from a full place? And part of that is knowing that you matter, and you deserve to be loved and cared for in different ways than you're doing for everybody else. No less important.
That sounds great. So we have your email, Loren Gelberg-Goff, no hyphen, right?
No hyphen.
Good, .com is your
Right.
email. Okay, and that way, everyone, you could check to find out about the support group that's coming up, about the workshop that's coming up next week. When are you starting the support group again, or is it ongoing? It is,
Now,
right?
the support group will go from September 12th through the end of January.
Okay, January, I'll just say 30th or something like that, just to put it on my spot. And to get your book, how do we get your book?
It's on Amazon. It's on all the audio sites, Audible, audio.com. There are
Okay.
every audio, whatever audio app people have, the book is there.
Oh, perfect. That's great. Is there anything else
So
you want to tell everyone? I think we're running out of time. It's been a wonderful.
I know we could
talk
talk,
on.
we could
We could
talk
talk all
forever.
Good.
It's, I just want to leave people with the message that is throughout my book. Just if you can do nothing else for yourself, remember to breathe. Slow it down. Whatever triggers you, sets you off, take that slow, deep breath in through your nose and exhale with a sigh through your mouth. It'll help you shift from reactivity to responsiveness. And we breathe.
And we breathe. So thanks, everybody. It was so good to see you. So join me on my YouTube channel, Caregiver Success, and we're going to check out all that Loren Gelberg-Goff has to offer us as we caregive all over the place. Thank you, Loren. And take care,
Thank you,
everyone.
Nancy.